Hello and welcome to the Proper Marketing Podcast. Today I'm joined by Jess Cooper, Marketing Director of VEKA PLC. Thanks for coming on, Jess. It's a pleasure to have you. So just quickly start by introducing yourself, your role, where you work. Just tell us a bit more about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Jessica Cooper. I'm the Marketing Director at VEKA PLC. So I started out in marketing as soon as I left university. And worked in various agencies, A&P in Preston, Ainsworth Parkinson, and worked my way up there from a marketing exec to an account director there, so owning my own clients. Then there was an opportunity to come to VEKA for a maternity cover role. So I took that opportunity because I wanted to see what internal was like. I also found the 2:30 on a Friday very appealing at that time in my life. So I moved to VEKA. Was successful and they offered me a digital marketing manager role following on from the maternity cover. Stayed there for another 4 years, and then an opportunity came up at an agency called Jess in Manchester, which happened to be a very good friend of mine's agency as well. So moved over to Manchester to see if agency life was back again for me. Very different in my life at that time. I have a 4-year-old, husband, a mortgage. It's tiring, all those things. So the Manchester travel and experience just wasn't right for me at this time in my life. Thankfully, an opportunity at VEKA came up, which was the marketing director. And as I've always been taught to never ever leave a job on bad terms, so thankfully left on the best terms, and they offered me the role. So yeah, thrilled to bits to be back, and I've been in the role now for 7 months.
That is quite a journey. So
Yeah.
no, that's perfect. So what's the difference between agency life and internal marketing teams?
Yeah, I think I'm an agency girl, and that's never left me and will never leave me. I like the pace of agency, I like the diversity of agency, I like the mixture of absolutely different mediums and energy that you get. And that's why I do love working with agencies, because you get that drive and passion. I firmly believe that the reason agencies are successful and the reason that businesses who use agencies in the right way are successful is because you pull on different skill sets. So rather than me paying 60 grand for an SEO expert in-house that's just going to kind of focus on this and be in this mindset, I can pay an agency, a retainer, that allows me to pull on someone who is probably worth 100 grand for an SEO expert, but is working on multiple different clients, FMCG, B2B, different ranges of budgets. That expertise is something that is there. The pace of agency is a lot faster, as I mentioned. That's something that actually VEKA, when I left, I would say quite a slow pace. You know, we're a B2B agency. Our fabricator customers aren't the most advanced in technologies. People still buy windows face to face. It's a huge purchase. You're not gonna buy online. You're gonna research online first. So it is an older industry, a very print industry. And as digital being my background, you know, I found it frustrating at times. Like I said, the pace is very quick. Coming back, we have a new board in place. Neil is the MD and has been for a few years now, but he's kind of got a new board in place. Tim Taylor is my commercial director, so my direct line manager. He's come from a brewery background. So though not agency, the pace is so quick. And the team that we've got around us, the CLT team, are just on a different level now than what it was before. And it's the same people. I think people have just elevated their expectations of themselves. Which has been fantastic. So I've got the pace of agency, I've got the team around me from an internal perspective, and I still pull on agencies. I work with the best agencies that support me, and I'm loyal to them and they're loyal to me, and that really brings the mixture of both in play.
Why do you think there's been that shift in VEKA internally?
You know what, in COVID, we had a great run. You know, the world was in a really dark place, but on the positive side, people were looking into their homes and looking what they could improve. Thanks to furlough, people had the finances still set in place. You know, budgets that they'd saved and money that they'd saved for holidays couldn't physically go on. So it's like, right, let's do up the house. And our markets saw a massive upturn because of that. So maybe where we'd have remained flat, we went like this. And everyone was like, right, yeah, we've got to achieve this. And we had a skeleton staff because we'd furloughed a lot of people as well. So I think that was a massive turning point in that we're busier than ever with less staff. So people had to do more and had to work to a different pace. And then honestly, I just think it's that shift in the board and the mentality of the teams is, you know, no one's coasting. No one's just coming in and going, oh yeah, I've done all right today, pat on my back. Everyone's like, no, what more can I do? What more can I do? We've got a new head of commercial called James Boggs, who's come through Food Harbour. The energy and passion that he's brought into the team as well, and he joined maybe a bit before me, is again on that different level. So I think we've got quite a young commercial leadership team, mixed with, Paul Kennington, who's our technical director, who is anything that you need to know about windows and fenestration, he does. There's no one that knows more. So we've got a really good balance of the knowledge and that slow and steady, no, let's think about it, and the just do it. Let's just get it done. Right, that, team, culture, workload, and that's what the teams we're building around us are of that mindset as well. So honestly, I don't think there's been any one thing. I think it's a difference in management style, a difference in the new talent that we're bringing in, and the pace at which we had to work because we were so busy with a skeleton staff. For people that don't know, what is VEKA? What do you do? We don't make windows, which everyone thinks we do, but we don't. So we extrude lengths of plastic. So essentially, if you look at your window and you see the frame, we extrude that frame, and then that then goes to a fabricator who turns it into a window. So adds the glazing, adds the hardware, makes it look like a window, and then that then goes to an installer who installs the window. So in the window, you've got sills, you've got trickle vents, you've got all the other things that go with it that are super exciting, everyone loves to know about. But yeah, we are an extruder company. We extrude plastic, PVC, good plastic. So yeah, that's what we do, and it's as simple as that. But I get that it can be really complicated, because actually, why would you care or know how to make a window or what goes into a window? But every house has a window, every building has a window and a door. New houses are being built all the time. People want to change the windows. Yeah, it's a mass market, and it's one that's will boom for the rest of time. You mentioned, and you are in one of those industries, doing one of those jobs where extruding plastic, it's not the most exciting thing in the world. If you'd have left uni and someone would have said, what do you want to do? I wouldn't have said work for a company that extrudes plastic. Exactly, but you've had you class yourself as that agency, you love being in an agency where you'll be working on exciting brands and projects all the time. There's a lot of businesses, especially in the Lancashire area where we are, that are ball bearing companies or make unusual things, these multi-million pound businesses, and then when you look into them, you're like, that's all you make. But how do you find marketing an exciting brand is easy? Yeah. How do you find marketing VEKA how do you pull the excitement out and put that into a marketing campaign? I think it's really interesting, because actually excitement to one person is very different to another person. So to me, talking to me about, at the moment, I'm going on holiday, so talking about Crocs that I've got frozen on, because that's what my daughter's asked for, it excites me, because I just need to get hold of them, got them from Marx's. Talking to our fabricators about something that they live and breathe. Bearing in mind, a lot of our fabricator customers set these businesses up themselves 30, 40 years ago from scratch in the white gold era. They are so passionate about what we deliver, and like the intricacies of, it's not just a stick of plastic, there's chambers in, there's so much more that goes into it. It's exciting to them. So yes, it might not be exciting to you, who doesn't care what's in a window, but the people we're talking to, their passion is this. And actually, you've got to care, and I care, and the people at VEKA really, really do care that what we're delivering is the highest quality and the best and the most innovative, and the service is 100%, because our customers really, really, really care, more so than I'd say any other industry. They are so passionate and so in the detail, to the point where it can be excruciating at times, because you're just like, just let us get it done. But they do care. So excitement to you might be different to excitement to someone else. I've worked at my latest role at Jack B, we worked with John West, so John West Tuna, so a very different brand that we're pivoting from a canned commodity to a fitness brand, to something that was a protein powerhouse. So to shift that mentality. So then you're talking to people who are really into their fitness and into health. That's not me. So that was my boss at the time, though, who was obsessed with yoga and doing amazing things, and her health is her wealth. So she was really passionate about that. Whereas for me, I thrived off her passion towards it, but struggled to resonate, because actually, I like eating tuna. I'll put it on a jacket potato or in a pasta salad. My life isn't going to the gym, because it's not. So again, it's whatever you're marketing, as long as you're marketing it to the right people, that energy and passion, who you're selling it to will absolutely come. If you've got no market and there's no passion, you're going to struggle to market something.
We'll start with VEKA first. Tell me about a really exciting, successful marketing campaign that you've worked on, obviously, and how you've delivered that and why was it successful?
Yeah, so only 7 months in, but thankfully we have delivered a really great marketing project. So Omnia is our latest product development, which is a flush window inside and out. So imagine something flush. Casement windows, you've usually got like a beveled or sculptured kind of line to it, whereas it's completely flush inside your home and outside your home, which is brand new. There's no window on the market like that. And that's been birthed out of our product manager, forgive me if I've got his title wrong, Philip Gregory, who saw a gap in the market, had a conversation with homeowners and said, I think we've got a solution here. 4 years in the making, millions of pounds spent on developing, working with our fabricator partners to get it right. That the first bits of profile are leaving our factory in August. So the build up to that campaign is creating a name, creating an identity, tone of voice documents, ad concepts, social media plan, landing pages, actually booking the print ads, creating a digital campaign, display campaign, targeted audience profiling to know who is it want to talk to, POS, and then actually supporting our fabricators by developing boxes for their installers, which has got a sample of the profiling along with other, installation tools that are branded up Omnia. That has all been done in 6 months from start to finish. And that to me is like, wow, if we can execute that in 6 months, then we can do absolutely anything as a team. And yeah, it's been really exciting to work on, and it's coming to that, that culmination now of first 6 going out in August, and then that's it, to the wider world we're there. So our print ads are going out in our trade press from this month. From last month, it's July now. We've got kind of massive takeovers going, and our digital campaign with Jet BR agency has been running as teaser campaigns as well. So really thinking about that journey, which is something that our industry maybe doesn't do that well. It maybe doesn't think about how can we build excitement rather than just going, boom, it's there. Because actually what we need to do is build the traction around it to get people to want it, which has delivered a great few leads for us, which is great. And then actually now we need to build the excitement with installers. So fabricators are making the windows. That's all well and good unless you've got someone to sell them to. So we need to do a pull campaign to installers to then sell that into homeowners, because we don't talk directly to homeowners because we're too far up the chain. So we'll support all the way down that chain, then marketing it to homeowners. So I'd hope that your installer that takes Omnia comes to you and says, if you're looking for new windows, well, I've got this, it's the latest thing in the market, it's absolutely amazing, that's it. So I need to make sure that your installer has all the material in place and the knowledge to do that. Yeah. But yeah, it's gone really, really well.
Good. What are the metrics in place that basically tell you that it's going well?
Yeah, so sales for one. Ultimately, that's the end goal. We work amazingly close with our sales directors and our sales team. We are one, which is great. Which in some internal companies, it can be very butting heads. Obviously, we've got every channel that we're working on. We've got individual metrics for every channel. Social engagement is key. Display advertising, top of the funnel. Obviously, it's about impressions. Landing pages, we've got click-through rates on those. From a paid search perspective, again, it's clicks. We're owning that space of Omnia. It's a Latin word that means everything. We don't own that word, therefore we need to own the space around it. And then print ads, circulation. And again, we'll be doing testing in terms of word of mouth, our sales team going out to our fabricators at all times. And then ultimately, as I mentioned, it's the sales at the end of it. So, we could invest 300 grand in the marketing of this, just on this launch, and then we'll continued investment. So January, right, we've been launched for 3 months now, we need to do another push campaign to installers. So we could do a competition where you could win a van if you install X amount in a month, or whatever it might be. It's just that continuation of it all, and hopefully see that uptick in sales going. But yeah, every channel has specific metrics depending on where in the funnel that sits. So awareness, consideration, and obviously filtering down to loyalty after conversion, obviously.
Yeah, perfect. Obviously, VEKA's a huge company, in relation to a lot of companies. You mentioned that you're doing display, social, paid. touching a wide variety of channels. From a marketing perspective, how important do you think it is to have touch points on all of those channels?
I think for me, if you are planning on doing a successful marketing campaign, you have to be where your audience is. So it's not a case of throw mud at the wall and hope it sticks. It's looking at those targeted areas. So I have got a targeted niche on what I'm doing digitally. I'm not just going anyone and everyone. I'm actually saying, right, this is the audience that we're looking to achieve. What we're also doing is looking at competitor targeting. So we've identified our competitor websites, we've identified the pages where we believe their customers are hitting, so their login pages. And then, so we're targeting those. So anyone that goes to that competitor page, going to be served an out of VEKA ad, because actually it's about conversion, it's about being at the right place at the right time. Trade press, print, is very much a vanity thing for our industry. If you're not in them, well, you're obviously not spending the money then, are you? But it's tactical growth and tactical awareness. So there are some channels we're not on. There are some things that we've decided not to do in this year that potentially would have done. SEO, for example, we've decided to stop that, which is a brave move and something that, we may live to regret in a little bit, because it's something that you have to continually feed. But actually, at the minute, we are a strong enough brand to own our own space. So is it necessary right now for us to pour that money into that, or is it better for me to pour money into paid advertising, paid search, display, YouTube campaigns, etc.? Because we've not, as VEKA, we hadn't done that for a few years. We very much just rested on our laurels and presumed everyone would know us and presumed the industry would come to us. We were arrogant in thinking that. So that's why I've poured my money into the paid side from digital, and why I'm pouring more money into the trade press, because actually I need to go with a big bang and say, VEKA are here. We're here, we're everywhere you are, basically. You know us, and you need to know us, and then we can work on building that SEO. But saying that, I've not turned it off completely. We do have monthly work, well, quarterly work going on to make sure that we don't drop off the face of the earth. So yeah, but I will bring it back in.
Yeah. You mentioned it's important to know, to reach your audience where they are.
Yeah.
How do you know where your audience are?
Audience profiling, doing a lot of research and insight. It's something that's a massive gap in our industry at the minute, actually. Research. We've just recruited a brand and insight manager that's starting in August that's going to really, really boost that for us. But you have to do the groundwork. And I think you can't just come into any business or as any marketing manager and be like, oh, I'm just going to do social because that's there. Why? Who's there? Who are you talking to? Because you could be sat on a social channel spouting things that you think they want to hear with zero engagement, but continue to do it. There's no point. So we have a really good understanding of who our people are. But actually, we're doing a brand equity survey. What do the people think of us? What channels are they on? What press ads do they read? And again, it's thinking of everyone as a consumer. So though we're B2B, we're still all human. And, I'm not viewing generic human to human terms, but it ultimately is. Because I might catch you as the sales director of one of the biggest fabricators that we want to go for, and my display ad might pop up while you're scrolling through the Daily Mail or looking on another more reputable site maybe. And it's about brand awareness and presence. So though my awareness campaign is targeted to an extent, this is where further down the channel it gets a lot more specific on who I actually want to talk to. So for Omni, for example, I want to go to the commercial sector. So now we're doing a process of identifying where are architects and specifiers, what are they reading, what are they consuming, where are they going online, everything about them, naming them even to that extent to know what it is. And we might get it wrong in some areas, but you don't know until you try. And it's having that A/B testing scope in your budget as well to say, got that wrong, don't worry, we can pivot. And with digital especially, pivoting is so easy. Changing your creative, not too frequently though. Like make sure you let something run to 3 to 6 months before you even start to think about changing the colour of a button or changing the image. You've got to let things happen. And I think digital marketers specifically are like, oh, I can change it now. Let the lay of the land. I spoke with our digital agency and I want to change their creative right now. It's been running 6 months. It's doing a good job. Why? Well, it's just because I don't like it, but it's doing a good job. So let's change it again at a later date and make small tweaks. Changing one thing at the same time, especially with display ads and Facebook ads. It could be, like for like, and you just change the colour of the button. That's all you need to do. What people tend to do is, I'll change the background image, I'll change the button, I'll change the narrative. Well, how do you know what people resonated with them? And I think that's something that's really key. And My pace is quick, I talk quick, know everything quick, but what I've self-taught and what I've learned from the amazing people I've worked with, my old director at Jack B, my old director at A&P, Claire, is just take a breath and it'll sort it. And you might get pressure from the FD, from the MD, from whoever it is in your company. No, let's see first, let's try first. But yeah, research and insight is absolutely key, because if you've got that, when you're presenting to anyone, board, customers, you've got substance behind it, and it's not just fluffy colouring in marketing. Because actually, why did you do that? Because I read an article or listened to a podcast, or because I thought it was right. Well, it might be right for that industry, it might be right for that person, but it's not right for you. So I'd really just advise people to just take that minute and just spend that time doing that research and insight, or buying that research paper to understand what it is that it's about.
Yeah, you can be quick to, like you say, jump the gun and
It's
change a lot of things. But then, like you say, you don't really know what's gone wrong or if anything's changing at all.
And it's doing the mop-ups as well, post-campaign, post every campaign. Don't just go right next. Do a mop-up, understand what went right. Don't just sit and pat each other on the back and say, yeah, that was really successful. Well, what about it was successful? What can we take on to the next campaign? What channels did work for us? What channels didn't work for us? What could we have done better as a team to project manage that, to make sure that the things that went wrong don't happen again? I just think people, and me myself, I'm like, right, next. But it's like, no. It's not saying don't do the next thing quickly. It's find time to analyse and provide and give feedback.
Have you worked on a campaign that's just gone terrible? And if so, can you tell us any details? And mainly, why did it go wrong? And what you sort of learned from that?
I don't think I've worked on one that's gone terribly, and that's not blowing my own trumpet at all. I think, yeah, even in the project I just mentioned there are things that you're like, oh my God, that's gone absolutely horrific. You know, it's acknowledging that it's gone wrong, and it's how you handle what's gone wrong. It's like, could sit there and say, it's gone terribly, hands in the air, I can't fix it. There's a solution to every single problem. And with marketing, you know, if it's a print ad that's gone to print and you've written something that's completely wrong in it, it's owning that mistake and being like, okay, yeah, maybe print the next one and be like, did you see that mistake? And it's owning the issues, and it's owning that problem. So not one to name that's gone wrong, but I'd probably say, being really honest, every project I've worked, every campaign has had something that I've gone, flipping heck, like, why have we done that? Or why have we not thought about that? And that's where the mop-ups are so key, because you will do that in every project, but it's acknowledging that it went wrong at that time, fixing it then, making a note of it, and coming back and working out what went wrong. And to be honest with you, the main thing that will go wrong in the campaign is communication. If you've got multiple people working on a campaign, which you would do, if the communication falls down, that's where it all comes crumbling down. It's a big thing for me at the minute, is the communication and the teamwork and working with different departments and different disciplines, and working with different people. And the people doing it, if the campaign is set and you've got the structure and you've got your strategy and you know what it is you want to work on, that's all well and good. But if you're not working as a team and you're not bringing it together all in one go and communicating with each other, even though it could be a success because you've hit your metrics, it could have been an absolute shit show, the entire thing. And timelines, giving yourself time, setting realistic timelines, even if the deadline might be here and your timeline is this, it's communication at every point to your stakeholders to say, I'm not going to achieve that because of this, but what I am going to do is X. And it's that, and that's been a lesson learned of holding something to myself, being like, I'll just fix it myself and no one will know and I'll get it sorted. If I'd have communicated better that actually I was behind or something had gone wrong, someone could have helped me. Someone might have had the solution that I didn't think had a solution because they'd done something in their past career that meant that they knew how to fix it, rather than just holding something to myself and thinking, I'll solve it. You can't carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. And again, in my career, wanting to own everything and going like that and not delegating and not asking for help and support because I can just do it myself, because probably 50% of it, I wanted the praise. I wanted someone to be like, oh, yeah, Jess, like, she's good, like, she can do everything. They'll see your value in what you do by asking for help when needed. That's where projects for me have fallen down.
Do you believe that, obviously, we mentioned different industries use different marketing methods, tactics, whatever. Do you believe that there's some sort of like line that every business can do to market themselves successfully?
I think if everyone follows that funnel of where it is that they need to get to, it might be that at the consideration stage, theirs is slightly different to what someone else is in, but ultimately, marketing's marketing. We've all got the same channels to pull from. We've all got the same tactics, techniques. We've all got the same 4Ps and blah, blah, blah. We're all going from the same model overall. Build your brand awareness. Don't be arrogant to think that everyone knows who you are in industry and out of industry. Really resonate with your customers and bring them on the journey with you, and make sure that they believe in you. Your biggest brand advocates are your customers. So I could put millions into my marketing campaign and it could fall absolutely dead because one of my top customers has said, VEKA are shit, never want to work with them again. And our industry is so small that if that happened, domino effect that could really impact us. So, but if I bring that person on board with me and communicate with them what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, that's only going to grow bigger. So I think across any business, anyone, it's even, you look now at the loyalty schemes that they've got with like Marks and Spencer's and Tesco, and it's all about loyalty, isn't it? It's all about bringing people in to be like, oh yeah, they've done that for me. And people's ESG campaigns and CSR, people talking more about what they're doing for other people and how they're thinking about the rest of the world and the environment and everything else. That never happened before. No one gave a shit. Like, plastic bags and everything like that. And you didn't care that Sainsbury's were planting a forest because I just needed to get my shopping. Whereas now people are, and especially the younger market, are saying, actually, no, I'm really going to think about why I'm buying from you, whether it's a £5 purchase, a 20p purchase, or a £5,000 purchase of windows. I want to relate to your values, understand what it is. So any service or product that you're offering, look at your funnel, but then also look at what more are you offering, what values does your brand have that mean that your customer and the outside world will resonate with you to be like, oh yeah, I don't use proper marketing, but actually, what a great guy, what good values he's got. Really support his business. Because actually right now, I'm not saying this for me, but right now, if someone didn't need to use you, but then recommended you because of the values that you've had, great, you just want a piece of business there. So for me, brands need to not be arrogant. They need to really think about the channels and the audiences they're talking to, and invest in the people that work for them, because they're obviously brand advocates as well, but also creating that loyalty base. I worked with Gorilla Glue in my previous role as well, and they were working on, looking at, right, well, we've got the DIY sector. Why would I use, Gorilla Glue over the next person in the market? I won't name check them because I don't want to give them any words. Why would I use them over them? Well, it's because we've got a loyalty of it, because we've built this brand, because we've built this blah 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 blah, that actually they all talk to each other and share ideas and share things. Every single business is doing the same thing. Why do you drink Krombacher over Foster's? I like the taste, but also I like the glasses. And actually, Brewdog built an entire business on a community, and now they've got bars. I could give you a million examples of where loyalty's been built up. So for me, anything you're doing, B2B, B2C, build your loyalty.
Yeah. No, it's true that, because I was listening to a podcast where George Heaton was on, the owner of Represent. Yeah. They're just a community now, essentially. They go running in different cities and stuff like that. But I think you mentioned a couple of good points. I think in the world that we're living at the moment, where sort of marketing budgets are tight for quite a lot of businesses, there's a lot of looking at performance marketing, so you paid campaigns and stuff like that, bringing in those quick wins. But I think a lot of businesses are not actually doing the brand building stuff as well that needs to lay your foundations. People
are fickle. They'll see an ad, they'll get it, but unless they've built a connection with the brand, they'll just get it from somewhere else next time because your ad didn't show. Exactly. If you're doing performance marketing, which I completely agree with, it's got to be consistent. You've then got to be willing to invest that forevermore. I was talking to one of my colleagues who used to again work at an agency in Manchester, and a brand that he worked with did a big campaign on a jewellery, and they got loads ROI on it, was amazing, did all this, did all that, turned it off. We're not getting any sales through, we're not getting this because you've turned it off. You've turned your promotion off. You've not built your loyalty. You've just got now a market of people that have got a ring of yours that actually don't know the brand, don't know why they bought it from you, but you did 30% off. Great, anyone will buy it. Whereas actually, no, they'll go back to the brand they did use or do buy regularly from because they built the connection with them. It's hard, it's tough. And maybe that's not about the money that you spend, it's about the investment of time into the comms that you make. Build a platform, build a forum, build a community. It doesn't have to cost the earth. We had our partner day recently in March with our customers, the first one we've held. Globally, we do it. All the other subsidiaries do it. We decided to do it. The halo effect that's been from that is, wow, you really listened. All we want to do is feel connected with you. We want to feel communicated with. We want to know what you're doing, what your plans are, why you're doing what, who the people is that we're talking to on the end of the phone on our customer services team, rather than just the sales team who we love, but I want to know who else it is. We've got 400 people in our business. I only know 2. And this is me as a customer, I obviously know more. It went down so well, so we're doing the next one, and we'd host them at Crowwood. It's that investment is worth so much more than anything else I've done so far because of the impact that it had and the feeling that it gives.
The relationships that it's built.
Relationship building, and granted, you've got your, maybe I'm not going to build a relationship with someone that's selling me a plug for my sink, maybe, but ultimately you're talking, costs that are above X. It's about that service and about that building that relationship with them, which our customer service is absolutely key to any business.
Yeah.
Over deliver every time.
You mentioned you're not building that relationship with a plug of a sink, but I suppose glue. And you mentioned that you're Gorilla Glue. Glue's glue.
Yeah, true.
It's stick stuff.
It's sticky stuff. It is. It literally is.
But Gorilla Glue seems to have built this personality behind the brand, and that's in turn built that sort of community style thing.
And they've got a fantastic marketing team behind them and a great marketing director, because they have O'Keeffe's hand cream and foot cream as well.
All right, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so US brand, part of the same. And what they've done is identified that actually the trade DIY market are also very loyal in what they use. Like, if you think of a tradesman, I use that. Why? Because I've just used it forevermore. So they're hard converters, because if they're not on your brand, it's that shift change of getting them to go somewhere else. Similar with hand cream and foot cream. I might be a vino person because I used it. I've got really sensitive skin and I don't use anything else. So their pieces are very much education. And I think if you give enough education and give enough, essentially it's case studies. It's not influencers. It's real people giving real stories about why they use it, and showcasing the products. But again, it's relationship building, and they're on a mass scale. They're not 500 fabricators. They're like 500,000 people that they want to touch and get to. Because I've got Gorilla Glue in my home because I glue stuff for my door, like heels on shoes, like absolutely anything. But a tradesman's like, no, I only use it for this reason. Think of Burnley Football Club. The loyalty that team has, when maybe they shouldn't. Maybe they shouldn't. My husband would die on that flag, PFC. He'd kill me for it. But yeah, it's building that brand and that loyalty, and it's something that everyone needs to think about. Is if you're deadly loyal to BFC, but if your customer journey isn't great because your website's not performing, I can't order my tickets, I can't get this, the loyalty scheme doesn't work quite well, and this isn't me slating Burnley, by the way, this is just in general, then they're going to be super loyal to you, but they're going to be pissed off. So it's like, well, how do you get both then? Because in any other business, if you've pissed me off on that customer service level, I'm gone. I've walked somewhere else. So there are so many layers and exciting things that you can apply to different areas. But ultimately, as a person, I just want to know that A, what you're offering me is going to work for what purpose I need it for. B, you're going to be around for a long time. So I'm not going to buy into you and then you're going to go somewhere else. And C, that you've given me a good deal.
How do you think that influence marketing is going to impact the B2B world? Obviously, it's very much of a forefront of B2C. What do you think it's going to do in B2B?
It's interesting because our FIT show, which is an event at the NEC every 2 years, which is our industry show, George Clark has attended many times, Mr. Renovation Man.
Oh, George Clark's amazing spaces.
Yes. I can't actually remember who was with, so obviously that works for me, marketing perspective. But you've got people within that sector, that renovation sector, that we do pull on in our industry to use at shows, to wheel them out, it's to recommend, blah, blah. I think people are numb to influencers now because they see them so often on every channel, whatever age you are. I mean, Stacey Salton's planned everything under the sun, essentially, let's get on it, I love it all. But for me, I think that, and you can see it with TikTok, is they're having to be more honest about it. So they're saying this is an ad, which is fine, they have to do legally, but it's not just it's a really good, they're having to work so much harder now for influencers to get that buy-in and get that engagement. I think from a B2B perspective, we're looking at going to the commercial sector. I've used the word influencer in that I want someone who is top of their game in architecture to have my product, test my product, put it in there, and then do a case study. For us, it's about the case studies of what the process was working with VEKA, what you felt our product was, why you chose it, less sort of wheeling in an influencer per se, and actually someone reputable. It's a reputable opinion, because ultimately this is a huge purchase point product, especially the commercial sector. Think of these windows which are wood because of the building that is the listed building. But this would cost an absolute fortune if you wanted to redo it in aluminium or PVC or whatever it was. So it's a really long thought out process of why the architect has chosen that style of window and then what product they're going to specify. So it's utilising the right people, but that's just my market. It might be that in a different industry, you do pull on someone that's, I can't think of any industry that I would pull from, but building or whatever it might be, you've got loads of builders that are influencers at the minute, It's what audience you're talking to, because as well you think I'm talking there about architects and specifiers who are very much like that laser focused, but then you've got installers. So we used to have Steve Davis, who was the snooker player.
All right, yeah.
He's a DJ now, apparently.
All right.
So he represented our independent network brand, which is our installer brand, for 10 years. We paid him an actual lot of money. He was on everything, and his cool cue. He was Mr. Slow and Steady quality. So it was about the quality of our installers. Our installers all loved him. He came to our events. They worshipped him. He was like, Steve was the best thing ever. And when we got rid of Steve, we were like, it's like we killed him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, it's just Steve did. And now it's been 7-10 years since we cancelled the contract. Since we cancelled the contract. And pushed your boss Steve back.
And it still gets talked about.
You're famous anymore. Don't do anything. Bring Steve back. So actually there is an absolute place. And if I, thought, what? Yeah, for our installer brand, we need a bit of a face of it. We need a bit of a person. Would I think of someone, not Steve Davis, who was completely left field, by the way, in terms of like that? Would it be someone like a George Clark character, or what's the other guy? Is it Kevin McLeod?
McLeod, yeah.
Or even that's maybe a bit too far for installers. Did they just want that kind of down and dirty, someone they can resonate with? Is there
for someone like yourself that's done the agency and now gone back and forth and now internal, for sort of like younger marketing professionals, what advice would you have for them if they're just sort of at that college age thinking, is marketing for me? What do I do? Do I do agency, or do I get stuck into a internal? Where did they go? It
depends what you want from it, one. But if I can give the advice to anyone within, I'd go agency first. Because it gives you that breadth and reach to learn so much more. So you're working with experts within the sector. So you're working with an SEO manager, a paid manager, an IT director, getting that commercial side. Selling, marketing is sales, ultimately. It's just you're colouring it in, basically. If you don't have a commercial knowledge and you're just sat there going, we'll do that press ad, and we'll do that, and you don't care about the ROI, because actually you've got no awareness that cost equates to X, you're on a losing battle. So I really would, either if you go internal, align yourself with that sales team to an inch of its life. Go out on the road with them, understand what it is that they're trying to do and deliver, so you've got that knowledge. But I think everyone that I've worked with that's been agency, and people in my team that I can think of that have been agency, the pace, the level, the expectations of themselves, the expectations of their peers as well, is a different level. That's not to say that you can't get people that have gone internal and are absolutely amazing. There's many people I could reference that are absolutely amazing by just going internal, but it's their drive that's got them there as well. And it's that what you're hungry for. And going into it, even just there, to any advice is learn from your peers. I have been extremely lucky to have worked with Claire Bristol, who was my mentor at AMP, Dawn Stockwell, who was my mentor at VEKA when she was the marketing director, Neil Evans, who's the MD now, Tim Taylor, Amy Stephen, all sales directors, sitting with them and understanding their mindset and actually why they're asking why they're asking so what, and not getting annoyed that they just, you feel like the question you say, well, why, Jess? Why? And you're like, just because. But actually doing it for a greater good, and they're doing it because why? Like, why are we doing this? And it's not to question everything you're doing, it's to guide you. And as long as you can take that feedback in the right way, which, don't get me wrong, took me a while, when I think I've done an amazing job, and I come to someone and they go, that, but why that? And you're like, just get it. So it's growing up and leaning on those peers. And like I said, I have been the luckiest person in just who I've landed with. And everyone I mentioned there is still in my life as key players as well. Really, really key players that I can lean on and use for guidance. And you find these stars in your life, take them with you. Invest the time into them because they will be influential throughout the rest of your career. And I'm very lucky to have many people that have been that for me.
How do you get inspiration for marketing campaigns? So, I always tell people who are thinking about marketing as a professional, consume media from everywhere. Mm-hmm. Sort of like, don't just, not to get political, but if you're a Labour, still consume Conservative because you'll still get influencing stuff from there. What sort of, where do you look for influence and inspiration on campaigns?
I completely agree because, within our industry, if we liken it to you buying a car, it's a high purchase point. How Rolls-Royce developed their brand to know that that's the creme de la creme, Porsche, Lamborghini. So you like look at them like, well, what do they do? Audi, another German brand that you associate with quality. I'm not going to try and say abstract land because I'm not going to do it in German.
Yeah.
Or sheet.
Yeah, I'll let you go.
So when I'm looking at creating campaigns, when I'm looking at Omnia and looking at the branding, it's like, right, okay. So I know that my demographic of fabricators wear the Lexus, they drive the nice cars, they do these kind of things. So they resonate quality with these certain things. So therefore, for that campaign, I'm probably going to use that. But the language has to be dead simple because these haven't got time. So I want the simplicity of X brand with the quality and look and feel of Y brand. So it's like wholly different ones from each side. And like I said, going out a sector, I still like, I'm thankful that we work with agencies that work with multiple different sectors. Don't just align yourself with someone who just sits in your niche market, because then how do they know? Like, what are they doing? So love that we work with, AP and JB and other agencies that work with other brands, because they can come in and say, we've just done this with X, and though it's not exactly right for you, what we did take is this bit, and that would work so well for your brand.
Yeah.
And when we're looking at creative campaigns as a team, again, it's like, look into different sectors, not just our own industry. Because our own industry, we all just copy each other. We're saying certain lines at the minute, our competitors suddenly are saying those same lines. Imitation is the highest form of flattery, as I keep telling them, but it's lovely that they're doing it. But it's a small pool. And so it's like, right, well, what else can we do? What else can we look at? We extrude plastic. There's not many more ways around it. You can market it. So what other campaigns can we do? So definitely looking at our sector, pulling on knowledge and letting them ideas. Tim, when I came in, was like, look, it's marketing, like, give me 10 ideas, give me 20 ideas. And if I say yes to 5 of them, great, that's it, brilliant. It's actually what it is. It's just a continuation. I don't know anyone that doesn't work in marketing that doesn't wake up in there and have a million reams in their notes from where they woke up in the middle of the night. I know often don't make sense.
Yeah.
But your brain's constantly on because you're passionate about it. So if you're not doing that, then I'd question, is it something wrong in the role? Is it something wrong in what you're doing? Is it a certain sector of marketing that you're not enjoying? But if you love something, you should always be thinking about the next thing. I've got stuff in my notes that would not be right for me right now, but could be right in the next year or so. Then they'll just sit there.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned, obviously, we talked about different campaigns and stuff like that. How do you manage running different campaigns at different channels? How do you manage all that?
As part of my role, I run our partner programs. So I've got a programs team in place for that, product and innovation. and then marketing comms. So like, all the everything just spoke about the channels. What you have to have a good people in place. I can't run it all. I can't be in everything. I physically can't do that. But split it out. So we have a brand and insight manager that we've just recruited for. We've got a credit marketing manager that we're recruiting for. And we've got a customer marketing manager. We've got a PR and events manager. And then I've got my product and innovation manager and my partner programs they're not marketeers, they're separate on the business. And then I've got a big exec that's underneath who are integral as well. By splitting it up that way, I've got someone that's focusing on product so that their pure campaign, they can look at all those different channels for that specific. So for vertical sliding windows, for example, they're focusing on that. For brand, we're going to be advertising in Premiership and Championship. That's going to kick off in October and in through. That person's going to be owning that. How do we build the brand with that audience? For me, it's ownership on them and how an organisation is, before you set something out, what are your metrics? What are your KPIs? What are we looking to do? How does it pull through to our overall 2025, 2024 and 2027 objectives? Because ultimately, if we're doing something, it doesn't fit in any of the objectives that we've got as a business, why are we doing it? What's the point? What we're delivering? Is it just nice to do? They're not. They're absolutely not. So yeah, I think having that solid plan in place, setting it from top to bottom. So I'm giving them what the business objectives are. I'm giving them a steer on what it is that I want us to achieve from business objectives, marketing objectives, how you execute that. Being really honest, I don't care less. If you turn around to me and say, Jess, display's not working, it's not delivering, okay, right, you give me the facts on why and what you're going to do instead to get us to deliver the awareness that we need. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. That's I'm employing you to tell me what we should do. As long as it's aligning to the grand plan, that's try anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just say the ownership and accountability of the team to own that and setting what it is to the start and making sure that we circle back every month to know we should know these objectives in our sleep for the business. It's X, Y, and Z. Everything we do, enter those.
A couple of the things that we talked about, you've brought it always back to having a plan, a metrics, and the commercial side of things. And I think that obviously is just a crucial point. I think with many marketing agencies that also look at vanity metrics, that they look at what the actual return is. So yeah. Channel impressions, like really appreciate you coming on. I absolutely love that. It's clear that you've got a massive passion for marketing
Window.
and windows. Absolutely. So no, appreciate you coming on, and hopefully see you around soon.
Definitely. Thank you for having me. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.